Venus, the planet of love, slowing down. Does that mean love is slowing down too?
Yes. Venus, the planet of love. Every 14 months or so, it seems to stop its forward motion and go backwards, like Mercury and some of the other planets. And when it does two things. It makes you examine the love in your life and makes you look at it and go, am I getting my wants and needs met according to how I define it? If that answer is yes, then okay. But if that answer is no, universe then says, well, what about someone from your past? What about this? What about that? So it's an interesting time for because it's in the sign of Scorpio, it's the sign of sex. So it's not just wherever Venus is bestows good things. And it really perks that kind of area of your life up and makes you kind of look at it and go, hey, where am I at with that? So, and I always say be careful with that energy because people in your past are usually there for a really good reason. A lot of times you just want to leave them there.
That's exactly.
Yeah, so that being said, for Libras, Venus is in their second house of money. And so what that means is that in along with feeling the love, they have to be really careful not to get in any kind of shifty ventures, any kind of ventures that promise way more than they can realistically give. And that's just kind of like a common sense kind of thing where you're looking to go, that just can't possibly happen type of a deal. So you want to be careful not to get lured into bad financial investments for Libras. For Scorpios, it's about them. It's about them ruthlessly getting their wants and needs met according to how they define it. And it's either someone new, someone old, but by God, the Scorpios' love needs are going to be met. And they can be kind of reckless with that, so they got to be really careful to try and exercise some degree of selectivity.
Gotcha.
For Sagittarius, they got to be careful because they're going to get caught. And they don't think they're going to get caught. They think, ooh, I could talk my way out of anything. And when Venus is in your 12th house, you tend to do stupid things. And you end up getting caught and then compounding it and making it worse. So it's the kind of thing where make sure that whatever it is that you get into, if it's untoward or if it's a little on the shady side, number one, don't think you won't get caught. Number two, you got to weigh out whether the pleasure will be worth the potential pain. And more often than not, it's not. Or they will be set free in a way they didn't even mean to be set free come November.
Whoops.
Yeah, for Capricorns, this is a time to tap former romantic partners, in a sense, for their help with going forward on some sort of group project. This is working inside your existing social circle. It may be someone that you had some kind of a relationship with, but you can say, hey, I need your help on this, and they will go ahead and do it. It will be forthcoming. For Aquarians, it's in their 10th house of career and public standing, and they have to be really, really careful that their own words don't come back to bite them, that their own stuff where, if anybody's likely to do the Aquarian in, because they're very pugnacious right now, Mars is in their sign, and if they have anything in their past where they behave poorly professionally, it's really likely to show up over the next couple of weeks or so and have a worse outcome than they thought, which is the trouble with that. So they got to be really selective and pick and choose their battles. Make sure they pick battles they could win. For Pisces, this energy is in the 9th house of the law. And they actually do very well with this energy. If they ever wanted to make a bluff work, if they ever wanted to slide something by that wasn't quite kosher, this is a good time to do that for them. This is a good time for them to get by with something. The law's on their side, and it's likely something that will be omitted, which will work for the Pisces to the Pisces end, whatever that may be. For Aries, it's about other people's money, other people's resources. It's about finding a way to team up with somebody that you can maximize an existing resource. It's a good time to partner up with somebody. And it's also a good time to have old partners come calling to see if you might want to do something again with them. I don't know what that answer is. Depends. Got to judge each one individually.
Woohoo.
For Tauruses, it's in their 7th house of partners. And for them, this energy is very good for them because it makes their partners realize exactly what the Taurus brings to the table and how much the partner needs that Taurus.
Ah.
And it's kind of a time for partners to say to Tauruses, sure, anything you want, it's okay with me. That's kind of that particular energy. And
for my Taurus, amen to that.
Yeah. So it's a good time for them. For Geminis, it's in their 6th house of work, health, and responsibility. And for Gemini, something they thought that they had already taken care of earlier in the year comes back kind of, not to haunt them, but it comes back and says, okay, now everything is in place. How are we going to go forward with this, that type of deal? And they have more female allies than they are aware of, which is good for our president to know that. For Cancers, it's in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, and they're the ones most likely to bear the full brunt of this Venus. It's a very fertile time for them. Yeah, it's a good time. Jupiter is in there, so they want to expand their creativity. Venus is in there if they were trying to get pregnant. Oh boy, this is the time to do it. If they're not trying to get pregnant, oh boy, they're going to have to move to another area. Move to separate parts of the house to avoid that. It's kind of like in the air kind of a deal. Mm-hmm. And also something that is very creative for them can turn what is an avocation into a vocation 5 months from now. So if they really have something they're passionate about, they should go ahead and try and give that some attention with the thought of making something permanent out of it.
I got to warn my Cancer daughter about the
Yeah,
first
you
part of
do.
that.
Yeah, they need to be in separate houses. It's that fecund a time.
Gotcha.
For Leos, it's in their 4th house of home, and they really want to make sure things are right at home. They're beautifying their home. Some kind of project that they had embarked on is going to cost them more money than they thought, and they're going to have second thoughts about doing it. It might not be in their primary house. It might be in a secondary house kind of thing, but it just ends up they're going to spend more money than they want, or not more than they want, more than they thought they would have to in order to get the beautiful result that they want, but they need to do it.
Gotcha.
And do it right. And then for Virgos, the last sign, it's in their 3rd house of day-to-day living, and the pace of their day-to-day living picks up, and they're the ones most likely to get phone calls, get reached out to by prior relationships, not necessarily sexual ones, but could be kind of a thing. And the object is to enlist the other people's help in making the Virgo's life easier for them to do the job that they do. So, tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with Venus, the planet of love, slowing up for not 1 but 2 months.
Woo!
Woo! So,
See you next week. We'll do it again.
always a pleasure.